Hi everyone, Miss Els here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make homemade meatballs and a homemade tomato sauce covered in lots of cheese. You can serve this with rice or pasta or some crusty loaf of bread. It's really up to you, but if you're stuck for main meal ideas, then give this a go. Now, if you don't have a lot of time, you don't have to make the meatballs. You can buy them pre-made. And what you could also do is, if you have got some spare time, you could make these meatballs in advance and freeze them for when you are going to use them. I'm going to go through the ingredients with you, show you how to make it, and then share with you the end product. So I have got a kilogram of beef mince. Now you could use half pork mince and then the other half beef. It's totally your preference. Then to season this, I've got a really large pinch of sea salt. I've got a tablespoon of freshly chopped parsley. Then I'm going to be using a crushed up garlic clove, 1 beaten egg to bind it, some black pepper, freshly black pepper, and then I have got a finely diced onion. So that's to make the meatballs. Then moving on to make the sauce. There's a lot of ingredients for this. Once you've got them in the store cupboard, they will last for a long time. So to give lots of flavour, I've got a tablespoon of smoked paprika. You can just use normal paprika if you want to. I've got a tablespoon of tomato puree and a tablespoon of tomato sauce. Then I've got dark brown sugar, and I have got 4 garlic cloves crushed. I have got 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar that I'll be using. I've got tomatoes roughly chopped, 600 grams of passata, which is sieved tomato. I've got some mozzarella I've sliced up, some cheddar cheese, and then I'm going to add some mushrooms. You don't need to add the mushrooms if you don't want to. So let's get straight on with making the meatballs. So I'm just going to add all of my seasoning, and I'm going to add the egg into the bowl. So I have got that ready. Now I am going to cook the onion down first. So in a small saucepan, I'm going to add the finely diced onion. And I'm going to add in the garlic clove, which I'm going to crush in. Now there's something so satisfying about crushing garlic cloves. I don't know what it is, but just crush that straight into the pan. And then you want to cook these ingredients until they go soft, and then I'm going to add it to the mince. The onions are softened, and I'm going to add them in to the mince. So lovely aroma already. Just love the smell of cooking garlic. Leave that to one side. And then I'm just going to put in a nice bit of freshly ground black pepper. So mixing that all about. And this is when you're going to get a little bit messy, and you are going to, basically, you're going to mix in all the ingredients together with your hands. So just going to rub this all in. So you're going to just grab a little bit of the meat and all the seasoning, and you're going to roll them into a ball. Now try and get the same sizes so they cook at the same time. So this is roughly, hopefully you can see that, this is roughly the size that you want. Have a plate ready to put them on, and you're going to continue doing this until all of your mince has been used up. All of the meatballs have been rolled now into pretty much the same size, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this in cling film and refrigerate them until I need to use them. So I'm going to show you how to make the sauce next. In my saucepan, I have got 1 large finely diced onion. I've got 2 celery sticks finely diced, and then I've got 2 large carrots peeled and finely diced, with 1 tablespoon of oil. Now I'm just going to cook that down for roughly 10 minutes or until the vegetables are soft, and then we're going to add all the rest of the seasoning and the main bulk of the sauce. So I recommend that you do make your homemade tomato sauce. It just tastes so much better than if you got it out of a can or a jar, and you know exactly what's in it. There's no added preservatives or additives, so it's just 10 times better. Close up now, and the carrot, onion and celery have now softened, and this is when you're going to add your garlic, your crushed garlic, into the pan, and you're going to cook that roughly for 2 more minutes. Then you're going to add all of your seasonings. So I'm going to add my soft dark brown sugar. I'm going to add the 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Tablespoon of paprika, tablespoon of tomato puree and tomato sauce. You're going to add your roughly chopped tomatoes and then your passata. Now, the best ingredient that I absolutely love and cannot do without is Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. Now I'm going to add in 3 good tablespoons of this. So I'm just going to give this a stir now, and you want to make sure that all of the ingredients are thoroughly combined. You're going to put the lid on and you're going to simmer this now for 20 minutes. In the meantime, you can then fry off your meatballs. The meatballs are out of the fridge and they have chilled nicely. Now my sauce is simmering and I'm getting ready to cook the meatballs. I say cooked, you're not going to cook them all the way through, because once they are half cooked, they're nice and golden brown, you've sealed all the juices in, then they're going to go into the sauce and you're going to sprinkle lots of gorgeous cheese on top and put that in the oven to bake. Then that is the time that the meatballs finish off cooking. That's also when I'm going to add in my mushrooms, because I don't want to overcook them. I don't want them to shrink so small that I can't even taste them at all. So 2 tablespoons of oil. Let's fry these. You don't want to put them all in the pan at the same time. You lose heat out of the pan, and also it's really difficult to turn them. Before you put the meatballs into the frying pan, you want to make sure the oil is nice and hot. So you can test if your oil is hot enough by placing one of the meatballs on, and if it doesn't sizzle, take it back off and wait until the oil has heated up. Before you cook your meatballs, you need to make sure you preheat the oven to 180 degrees. If you need any conversions, make sure you look in the description, and that is when you're going to bake it and finish it off. At that point, if you want to cook some rice or pasta, then make sure you do that and get it ready for it. The oil is nicely heated up, and what I recommend to do to help you with turning them is to start always at 9 o'clock and then work your way round the frying pan like so. Make sure that you give a nice gap in between so it's easier to control. So then you know when they're ready to turn, you start at 9 o'clock and then you turn it from there, and it just makes it a lot easier to remember. And I'm just going to put a few in the middle, like so. Once they're starting to go brown on one of the sides, so just check it by turning it over. Then you want to turn them over completely, and you just want to keep on doing this until it's nicely golden brown, mostly on all of the outside. Now remember, you don't have to cook these all the way through, because you are going to put them in the oven to finish them off. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and then I'll be with you when it can be all assembled. The meatballs are browned, the sauce is ready, and now it's ready to put it into the dish and bake it for the final part. So the smell of the sauce is amazing. So just give that a little stir, and then I'm going to put in all of the mushrooms in now. And give that another stir. So I'm then going to place in the meatballs into my oven-proof dish. Meatballs are in, and now very carefully you are going to pour over this gorgeous sauce. Then sprinkle over 100 grams of cheddar cheese, or whatever cheese takes your fancy, and then the mozzarella. Then you're going to put this into your preheated oven for 20 minutes, and it will come out and all the cheese will be melted and it will be ready to go. Now, if you don't like bits in your sauce, or you don't like the lumps, then what you could do before you put the sauce on is you could liquidize it in a food processor or a blender and then pour it on. So I'll see you when this is cooked. It is cooked to perfection. I've just taken it out of the oven. Now it is ready to serve up. So the final end product. So what are you going to eat yours with? That is the question. The sauce is really rich and tomatoey. I can't wait to dig into this. Catch me on Thursday for my other recipe.